Well, hello again, and welcome back to the Kings Wellington Stadium, the place to be. In as far as the 2023 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup, we move on to Group C action on this the third day. And well, up to this point, it's been a very successful tournament, and we've enjoyed the football that's been on show. Not only us that's brought it to you, but those that have come out to the stands. Some of these youngsters have been out here all day, and while the attire lets you know it's been a rather warm day, back to your usual Durban weather. In as far as this winter is concerned, whereas things were extremely cold a couple of days ago, they have come to what's normal procedure in weather. A few up there wearing shorts, a few more wearing t-shirts, and while they're hoping for a good game of football in what will be coming up. Earlier on in the day, we had Mauritius up against Lesotho with William Shaw joining me in commentary. Lesotho were expected to walk away as the favourites here, and they got on with business nice and early in that game, William.
Yes, without a doubt. Luis, the goalkeeper of Mauritius, lets them down. He comes out, obviously undecisive, not able to clear, but you got to give it to the Lesotho at Mokachane, who saw and intercepted what might happen and find himself in a good spot.
Then coming in off the bench is a man who's the top scorer in the Lesotho colours. And as far as the COSAFA Cup, he extends his lead at the top of those charts with a well-taken goal here.
Well taken, first touch, excellent, but with the high line as Mauritius were caught, and which Lesotho did very well. Every now and then they played the long one, and he has all the time in the world. The calmness in front of goal, which is what he does very well, is Sarah. Finishes beautifully.
Beautifully finished for Sarah then, and ensuring Lesotho take the 2-0 lead ahead over this game while Mozambique will take on Angola. If they don't outscore Lesotho in whoever wins this game, it means Lesotho may very well end the day top of the group. That is the name of the game for Mozambique and Angola, not only to win their match, but win it well enough to finish top of the group. So, if you weren't sure as to where we are, those dancers will let you know we are in the kingdom of the Zulu. They are proudly about their football, proudly about the region and culture, as we go back in time to a point when William Shongwe was fortunate enough to have a chat with the coaches.
In the last two editions, Coach Martini, 2 semi-finals are places, and this time I'm sure you must be hoping to go all the way to the finals.
Well, thank you very much for this tournament. Well, I think we're ready for that. We respect all our team in the group. So the players, their mentality strong. We have something to defend. As you say, the 2 years was in semi-finals. So we'll try to do our best because we want to reach the same stage or maybe to reach a final.
Tell me about the team that you brought here. In as far as experience is concerned, how does it look like?
Oh, the team, we have the same group because last year was all of the players are here. We brought them, so we have new guys from under 23 and 1 guys from under 20. So, but it's a young team, so we're preparing them for another cups like AFCON and CHAN.
Yes.
So this is a group that we are going to use for this tournament to prepare them for AFCON, as I said, and CHAN.
Coach, thank you very much for your time and good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Coach, it's a big game, it's a big competition, it's your first time here. What's the feeling in the camp? Are the boys ready to explode and make the country proud?
Isto é tornamento torneio grande. Como é que te sentes? Qual é a sensação? Será que a sua seleção fará a nação sentir-se orgulhosa?
Olha, em primeiro lugar, os nossos agradecimentos mais uma vez pelo convite que a COSAFA nos faz.
First time, I like to thank the COSAFA for the invite us again.
Penso que, independentemente das diferenças nesse momento, da nossa competição estar parada e o campeonato moçambicano estar a decorrer.
I think on difference or on that challenge on the COSAFA tournament, which will be running.
Não é precisamente isso que eu disse. Eu estou a falar entre a diferença da competição moçambicana que está em andamento e a nossa competição que está parada. Dá alguma vantagem à equipa moçambicana. De qualquer das formas, nós temos a equipa preparada para fazer um bom jogo, para fazer uma boa competição. Estamos a pensar competir de jogo a jogo.
He refers at position O. The Mozambican tournament they continue, but they're a little stopped. So he said they are prepared to confront them and make a successful game.
Group C of the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup concludes its first round with Mozambique taking on Angola at the Kings Welitini Stadium in Umlazi. On that note, a very good evening it is to you as we continue to tell the story of the 2023 edition of the COSAFA Cup. I'm Cesar Mapena sitting alongside William Shongwe, and while they're rolling through thick and fast the matches, the action, well, has been jam-packed and there's been plenty to talk about. We now talk about a rivalry between two nations of Chongwe that are amongst those that, well, can punch with just about any weight there is to offer in the COSAFA region.
Without a doubt. I mean, if you talk about Mozambique having featured in the semi-final stage, and if you refer to Angola, I mean, they've won this thing 3 times already, but it's just that right now the exercise is to be able to use it to develop a very youthful team which will prepare the pool of players that they can promote to the senior team. That's why maybe they haven't really come out with guns blazing as you'd have expected.
Well, they have won one, drawn one, and lost one against each other in the 3 matches in the COSAFA Cup, these nations. So whoever wins this match will take the advantage in what's been a very evenly matched duel in the past between these two sides. The teams will soon be coming out of the tunnel then with well, Angola, the only of the two to have won the COSAFA Championships. And as you mentioned, Sean, where they won it 3 times in a row. They were the first to keep the COSAFA trophy as we look at now the FIFA rankings. And of course, well, South Africa, where you expect them to be. And to know this is a good game, Angola and Mozambique are close to the top, competing with the likes currently of Namibia and Zambia, as well as South Africa.
Obviously, you can add the fact that, you know, they're fighting to who is dominating as far as the Portuguese colonies that they are is concerned. And I'm sure one of them would like to have that bragging right to say, we're the best of the two.
Well, we'll find out who the best this time around is as these two meet here. And, well, they'll come out here in the hope to entertain. Angola will be in the yellow shorts, just so as you are familiar. At times these two nations can confuse you with who wears what colors. Angola in the yellow shorts, and of course Mozambique in the black shorts. As we get ready for the singing of the national anthem.
I ask you to please stand up for the national anthem of Mozambique. Kindly stay as you are for the national anthem of Angola.
Well, the last time these sides met in a COSAFA Cup game was back in 2013 out in Kitwe in the plate final, and Mozambique walked away 1-0 winners on that particular day. So they'll be hoping to make it 2-2 Mozambique here against the Angolans, who of course would love to come back to winning ways against the Mozambicans. And as far as the refereeing team here, it's Masikole Ambiso from South Africa will lead the refereeing team. Zamanis Menani from Eswatini will be the first assistant, while Tembo Ondamali from Malawi will be the second assistant. The fourth official, Mr. Ansutani from the Comoros Islands. So, mentioned it before, these kids can confuse you just a bit, so we'll clear that up as the game does get underway. But for Mozambique, they do have the attacking prowess of Isak out in the number 10 number, and he's one to keep an eye on, whilst of course they've got the likes of Amado and Shaquille in midfield to keep things nice and steady between defense and attack, Shonga.
Yes, there's experience that comes from that middle, but also even better, Ernesto on the left-hand side and Nelson, some of the more experienced in that Mozambican side. Hopefully they'll be able to deliver to Isak, who plays as a top striker.
That's Mozambique now from an Angolan point of view, and they will be all out in the yellow. Keep in mind, will Angola, they will look to Ben Afra out in the attack, wearing the number 19 on his back as their point of reference. But watch out for the likes of Moseka in the number 10 and Kaneta in the number 14 from a creative point of view out wide.
Because look at the three in that midfield. This is a ball-playing side, so you will see a lot of movement coming through that middle. That is Enoch and Mayula, who's also going to be responsible for that to happen. It's an exciting team to watch, as young as they are.
Well, we are waiting now the toss of the coin as the two captains do step forward. I've already touched on the officials that will be looking to have a good showing here in this evening's game. We have touched on the weather quite a bit throughout the start of the tournament, which is cold. It was warm yesterday. It's somewhere in between today. So it's great conditions for a game of football, considering we're in the winter time here. And there was a bit of cloud cover as well during the course of the day, just to keep things nice and cool. So, Bossi, the one captain on the one side, hoping to lead his side to what should be a good start. They'll all be mindful of the result from earlier, with Lesotho, of course, having come up with the win and possibly topping the group, depending on the scoreline in this match.
The only worry that they will have, of course, is the humidity, but it's better than playing in the hot sun of the KwaZulu-Natal region. And yes, we expect the tempo. Night games have always got that about them, with a high tempo, and we're hoping the goals will flow.
Now it is Mozambique to get the action underway. They'll attack the right of your picture. Angola in the yellow will attack the left. Now, the chance of Leonia with the pressure applied in the early corner one, thanks to closing down right from the front. Well, a few seconds into this game, and already we will have some action inside the box here. Oh, the big man coming back defensively then, whilst the big man will also be looking to get onto the front foot. There's Mozambique that will hope for the perfect start here. It will get no better than finding the back of the net inside the opening minute if they do. Out swinging corner, good numbers in the box.
Looking at where the Mozambicans were lining up, Pelé outside of the 6-yard box, looking to run in, and obviously you could expect that to be an outswinger. And yes, maybe it didn't go according to plan, but you could see they're planning towards that set piece.
So, whilst Angola have gone all the way to be crowned champions in the COSAFA Cup over the years, they have given us some real stars to enjoy. The likes of Aqua, who scored 5 goals in his COSAFA Cup career. Love is another name, and another man who scored 5 in the history of Angola's existence in the COSAFA Cup. They've also been crowned champions in the past. Remember the likes of Flavio in years gone by.
Gilberto. And Goliath, the goalkeeper, a real Goliath. big and strong, intimidating.
And as far as hat tricks, they do have one man who scored a hat trick. That was Fabrice Aqua back in 2006, doing so against Mauritius. As we look back at the foul here in the middle of the park. Also giving us some big score lines. The biggest one at 5-0 or 5-0 thrashing of Mauritius back in 2006. A good year for them. Aqua involved in that year as well. Now, we have the pieces here, and that's a good ball towards the near side as it's played back across. The opener comes beautifully constructed. And Angola's side, that was just too smooth the way they picked apart their opponents did.
Technical ability is something that I've always appreciated. They develop their players to a certain level of ability that when they get this type of opportunities, they don't miss too much. Their efficiency in front of goal is what has seen them really grow, which maybe I think a whole lot of other teams don't work too much on. One chance, one goal.
Now, crossing and movement just was absolutely top-notch here. The initial pass finds the run out wide from Kaneta. How's that? One touch each and everybody does their job. It's all too quick. It's all too precise.
But defensively, Mozambique could have done better. You got to stay with your man real close. It's inside the box, and yes, it was a good finish. I think that you got to give it to him. But defensively, also you ask questions. Why do you give somebody so much space?
Angola through Benafra. And that is the perfect start. And fast neutral is just what we needed. That means that, well, Mozambique have to find a way back into this game. That's just what we needed in a game that already promises to be one not to forget. The evening games so far, since this tournament has gotten underway, have been the ones where we've looked forward to the action and the cherry being on top of the day. And this game is no different here between these two nations.
Now, let me bring in Danito, one of the defenders in that center. Machanga is the other, very experienced. They're featured so prominently in the past for Mozambique in this competition.
Again, for the Golden side, they didn't enter the 97 edition. Group stage in 98, winners 99, winners 2001 and 2004 actually. First to win 3 and first to keep the trophy now. They've gotten off to the perfect start here. That's a lovely pass out to the far side. Already got good numbers going into the final third here. It's looking good for the Angolans as they win themselves yet another corner. And finger pointing maybe amongst the Mozambican defense as they look to find the errors in their ways here.
Listen, the fullback here, left fullback that is in Beu was caught way forward. And the defender, central defender, to help out basically in drawing a little wider to make the block.
From the training grounds, only 4 inside the box for the Angolans. Nice tempo about this game. Mozambique able to clear. Now we get a chance to really clear the lines and get some distance away from that defensive third. Somehow it has worked out for them as they put it forward on that far side to Mozambique with Telinho operating as the left winger. Just behind him, they do have Beu as the left back. Oh, this is nicely done by Nelson, avoiding a couple of challenges as he looks to push it forward. Then again, they're knocking on that door, looking to bounce back as quickly as possible. The Mozambicans who are just joining us. It took only 3 minutes for Angola to open the scoring. Next year with the ball down the line. Nice touches here, good explosion of pace as well as he plays it in. Oh, good pressure and a nice competitive edge about this game here in the early exchanges. William Strongway. They are both looking to have a good go here.
I guess the goal has just sparked this game to life because now Mozambique cannot just stay behind and be casual about it, and they'll be wanting to come down hard on this youthful Angolan side. But also, I think for Angola, it'll be a question of can they sustain this good start that we've seen.
Good quick movement on that far side. They are very quick to get it in behind that defensive line. Needed a better ball with 3 men advancing in on the box then. The pace from the wide areas is very evident from both these sides here in the early exchanges. Quick play, in that occasion was from Moseka, wearing the number 10. Osvaldo Moseka, operating wide on the right-hand side of the Angolan attack. Just looking at their starting 11, all of the players from Angola in their starting 11 playing their football inside the borders of Angola. Same can be said for those in the opposition side, that being Mozambique. Now, space on the far side here. Bussy. Nice angle on the pass. Now they're in behind that defense. The cutback, near perfect. Just inches away from the intended recipient. And it's Angola looking rather menacing on the right-hand side.
Pace, of course, is the one area, but the pushing up of the fullback, who eventually put through the pass to the winger, was excellent.
Now, for Mozambique,
it was the second time that the fullback was exposed.
yeah,
And that comes from maybe the leak of the midfield support, who's supposed to drift slightly to the left-hand side just to hold the fort when the fullback has gone forward. The last thing you want to do is to have your central defenders peeling away from their most difficult position, that is holding the center. The minute central defenders start pulling on to the side, it's just opening up the gateway.
again, if you're just joining us and find yourself a little bit confused at the colors, I'll be kind enough to just go through them again. It's Mozambique in the yellow and Angola in the red and black. So often when these two nations have come together, there's been a slight confusion. Oh, Angola, I beg your pardon.
Yes.
In the yellow and Mozambique in the red
other
and
way
black.
around, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly my point. So just to be sure, Angola is in the yellow and Mozambique is in the red and black.
Well, you're trying to clear the confusion and
I'm creating confusion. I beg your pardon for that. Now, over the years, of course, these nations have given us some great footballers. You mentioned Elias Pelembe earlier on in the game we spoke about, come from a Mozambican point of view. And what a career he went on to have, of course, at the very top flights of South African football. But when you think Angola, the likes of Flavio, who did so well with Al Ahly for years and was part of that successful generation in Al Ahly between, 2007 and 2010, I think it was.
Well, the story about those signing for Al Ahly, we'll talk about it with a little bit of time.
No. In here, and appeals for handball.
Must have been the first time that Al Ahly got beat at home by a team coming from down south, for that matter. And Petro Atletico at the time were in the Champions League, and they're able, as we confirmed, the handball, and they were able to beat Al Ahly in Cairo, Egypt. And Flavio obviously creating the waves alongside Gilberto, who Al Ahly eventually used him as a wingback. Unbelievable.
Of course, they played alongside Glacier, Abu Chikas, Barakats, and so on. That was a legendary Al Ahly side, including what many people, including myself, will throw into the hat as one of the best keepers of all time on the continent, El Hadri.
Yeah.
Those are just from an Angolan point of view, some of the greats that have come out of that nation, went on to compete and qualify Angola for their first ever World Cup in 2006.
That's right.
Came out of nowhere, that Angolan generation.
Gonsalves,
Yep.
the coach. And they built that team from the COSAFA games.
Yeah.
It was an earlier success that they had that eventually graduated into the senior team that eventually won themselves a place in the World Cup final.
They played alongside some real greats in the rugby. Wow, come on. Remember that Egyptian generation won 3 AFCONs in a row?
Yeah.
06, 08, and 2010. They were teammates of Flavius and Roberto's then.
You already mentioned Barakat.
Yeah. Who's touching Mabuteka. Now, bit of a problem that they'll be hoping is not too serious. The thing about being injured that close to the line, out to that far side, it's always all over, but players will never just shift over the, what, less than a yard, half a yard it is? Unless you ask them really nicely, they will never just shift over. Now, Sean, let's talk about this. The conditions and the type of boots and why they honestly...
Earlier on, of course, when they warmed up,
Yeah.
the pitch was normal. But now, suddenly, because it's at night, it becomes a little bit dewy and it gets greasy. And the ball starts, the grass on top starts shifting.
Yep.
And that's why probably the change, which wasn't the case earlier on when they warmed up.
Now, that's done then, finding a bit of space here. There'll be more to it here on this near side for a Mozambican outfit that's looking to find an equalizer. It's spread it out quite nicely till that final third. Giving nothing away, the Angolans, in the way they've gone about the defensive side of their game. Also, they've looked really menacing out to that far side, and they continue to cause a few problems. That's good play. That's great wing play. Byline, and well, a cross-come shot that needed to save from the keeper. That right side continues to bring joy to Angola, and it's that man Moseka, who right now is a man they have no answers for. No solutions to the problem just yet.
Spoke in that earlier game about the ability of a winger that has the skill to bypass his fullback. And it changes the reflection of the game, because thereafter it's havoc in that center of the box. Goalkeeper comes in very handy to deflect this one over Victor for a corner.
Well, the side that's opened the scoring here with the very first attack of the match are looking good for another. And you can see the meetings that are currently being held defensively here by the Mozambicans. Here there is quite a few that's not gone right for them. A few things that they need to address, a few issues here.
Beo, the left fullback,
Yeah.
has been obviously having the worst of Moseka. And looks like out of those a few movements, he's been able to hurt himself badly. Looks like a groin.
You don't block him, you don't push him. And well, here's the first change. That is the first of the evening here in this encounter. It's well, the Beakers that will make the change. We'll confirm that for you in a moment. There you have it. It's Mose on for Danuro. Comes into the game here at the point when the side is trailing, and of course is the fourth sub. Danilo is the name that we referred to by. Remember, they're like the Brazilians, where they do have their nicknames and so on, that we call them the same for the Mozambicans, both these nations, with the Portuguese influence.
Danilo actually is the original left fullback for Mozambique. He's featured prominently. I mentioned out of the three at the back, Beo was...
Now!
very near. It kissed the bottom side of the outside of the net, and with once again Victor in trouble, it looked.
Well, there's a problem here, and it seems as though he's straight down up to the attempt. Let's have a look here. Here is the ball. Was there a clash of heads? I do suspect there's a clash of heads. Then they've seen him stay down, and he's in need of some attention. I do suspect it's Isak. They're struggling. We'll confirm that for you in a moment. But again, another cross coming in from the right-hand side, and more problems coming in there, even with the new man in there, Danilo. As soon as he's come in, he's been introduced to the flow of things, and things are certainly flowing on that right-hand side of the Angolan attack. Penafra is the man that's been struggling. Will be able to continue with the game, having scored the opener earlier on in the day. Proud of their culture in these parts. No mistaking which part of the country we're in, of course, having seen those two gentlemen out in the crowd in the kingdom. Hasn't quite come together for the Angolans around the, or for the Mozambicans around the final third, I need to say. Must have had their problems on that left side of their defense. Those problems have extended throughout the field and just not being able to put it all together going forward. Overlapping run, uses the decoy, the early ball in, comfortably defended. Shaquille. Nelson. Actually done by Nelson in trying to close down right from the front, but the Angolan's able to clear only for Mozambique to try and build from the halfway line again, trying with the ball over the top. Good hard hustle to keep it alive. Then they've got three inside the box here if they can whip in the early cross. Always interesting watching those holding the line. As soon as I said they've got three inside the box, the line shifted up to the edge of the box. The attackers had to come out with it.
More so if the actions kind of shift into a more central part.
Yeah.
You got to continuously measuring the distance and how you can close. If you stay, it means the pressure won't be as high in that center when they pick it up. So by moving up, you obviously pushing the strikers off where they can be dangerous, but also closing the space in front of the attacking midfield.
Nothing more beautiful than watching all of that that's described being done as one, almost as though it's one brain cell that's operating the entire unit. That's when it's well drilled and perfectly executed.
Group tactics.
Yeah.
There's individual tactics in football, whereby you as an individual, how you deal with your position and the ball, how it's coming to you. There's those tactics that you are basic, but also there's group tactics where you shift as a group. That's the defensive group there.
Now, ball in here. Dealt it defensively. The follow-up shot won't get through the traffic. Better for the Mozambicans, who are looking to keep the opponents on the back foot here. Also using the width of the field for the first time. Nice ball in there. Isolated for the time being, and support quick to arrive as they set it up for yet another shot that was, well, missed by some distance. Counter attack very much alive here. Good close in the face is the option on the far side. It's done well to keep alive there. Way too much by mistake.
One touch too many. Explosion of pace. The explosiveness of those players, particularly the white. I mean, the white left has been a little bit quiet, but it came alive right now. So you can see that similar type of players operating on both sides of the channel.
Caneta as the man that lifted that, lit up his left side with the run that started way well in his own half, showing great pace to get beyond that defense and cause problems.
I thought there would be nothing left in the tank when he got into that thing up, but he still had the strength to hold on to the ball and eventually make a decision to spray it wide to Moseka.
Also another sign for Mozambique, and a reminder as they send numbers forward, which they had, in trying to pin the opponents back of the pace that the Angolans have that can hit them in the counter-attack. And it's a good ball. Lovely ball to the far side. Good take initially. That's looks a little too close to the keeper, and it is. And the initial ball really was impressive.
Here they come.
Able to deal with the danger on this near side. The Mozambicans through Meksha and company. Now space on the far side, a couple of runners, and Moseka wants to end up to face the angle of the pass.
Yes,
didn't do him any favors.
Needed to tilt a little to the side for Moseka to be able to get around the fullback to reach it, but it was a bit too direct, nearer to the goalkeeper.
Of course, Angola have been having a good go of it of late, and as far as the 2023 AFCON qualifiers, up against the likes of Ghana, Central African Republic, and Madagascar. Winning 2, drawing 2, and losing 1. A point off of Ghana in the qualifiers, and 1 ahead of Central African Republic. So all yet to be concluded there for the Angolans, but are putting a good go of it, or having a good go of it. Mozambique themselves find themselves in a group with Senegal, Benin, and Rwanda. Senegal already, of course, qualified. Mozambique second in the group on 7 points, 2 ahead of Benin. And Rwanda round up their group with just 2 points. Now, Mozambique here, again, hoping to find those openings. The likes of Amado in the center of the park, then bringing it over to this near side. Nelson. Shakiro, and it's a good ball, good movement as well. The protection on the near post there by the Angolans. So, pressure still on. Amado with the ball towards the far side, and wow, a disappointing ending to the looks, and impressive set of plays for the Mozambicans. It all came to naught with that wayward ball looking for Danito, who drifted out wide to the left.
Good steal.
Well, the space on the near side, he had to check his run to stay onside, and was just off in the end. The release coming a little too late then. Also needed to bend his run.
Needed to bend around a little bit more, because you can't go ahead of the pass.
Yep.
And in his case, he needed to time his run.
He's got the pace, Kaneta, there's no question about it. Nelson with a good first touch. How's that for a challenge of the highest order then? Kabale. Timed this well. Once you leave your feet inside the box as a defender, you have to get it right.
Because once you go down, there's no recovery.
Outswing and your post! Oh, that's a definite chance. That's a clear-cut chance.
Need a bit of power though. And also maybe a little to the side of the goalkeeper. But good, he's still got to give it to the keeper for good positioning.
Wondering if the connection was true here. That needed a bit of power. You have to be right about that, Shang. Oh, you are right about that. Just yeah, it's also easy for the keeper, but a definite chance then for the Mozambicans to find their way back into this match. Good closing down from the front here from the Angolans, hoping to force an error or two. Kept their cool, did the Mozambicans. Maseka. Actually done in keeping and moving then and looking for the through ball. It's Caneta's pace they're looking for then. Good work defensively from the Mozambicans. Impressive watching Hussey wearing the number 20, is back operating in the middle of the park, trying to thread through the pass. He's actually playing as the right back. He popped up in the more central area just a moment ago. Again, as we go well into the night here, the crowd that's gathered out on the far side is getting a good sign of the numbers that have come through. There'll be more of a crowd, of course, underneath the cameras with which we're showing you the end of the game, so you'll miss out on the main grandstand watching at home, but I can tell you, the people here in Umlazi have been great in their support of the 2023 HOLLYWOODBETS COSAFA Cup. It's free entry, so if you are in and around the area, we suggest you come out and enjoy some top-notch international football from a Southern African point of view.
The point I wanted to insist on is that it is free.
Yep. Can get some future stars of the game making a name for themselves. Down defensively, a little drop of the shoulder, did Caneta in with Meksha getting the upper hand on left guard. That's solid. Get a card here for this challenge. Wondering if he went over the ball in his attempts to try and get the better of his opponent. Ali, the man that's yellow card.
Also, attention, ladies and gentlemen, may the owner of
Ali Abudo Zakarias, then who played in the 20 of the Mozambique national team, but with the coach, when the coach was still at the 20, that will come up with him. He's also in the books of TS14 for TS14. Down in South Africa, picking up the yellow card for this challenge.
Reckless.
So half an hour of football has gone by here. It's Angola. They lead through that goal by Benafra. All the Angolan players have gone off to the side of the field. Not sure if they're getting instructions or having a sip of water, but the referee had to pull the ball back after the squad came through from just below us. There you have a confirmation of the goal. came from Benafra. Nice and nearly 3 minutes into this encounter. Just then, the lead be said, Mozambique haven't really looked aside that had it in them to trouble the Angolans just yet. Angola have on a few moments or a few occasions come up with some good plays here that have certainly given the impression they could have more goals in them. Here they are with the nice little ball over the top. Now, Kaneta. Right, one challenge and his fouled. Dealt with defensively the first time about in the end the foul is called against Benafra, so chance for Mozambique here to push forward. They've got some space on that far side, including the man with the run. He didn't throw come to nothing, and as far as that run on the far side, used as a decoy. All the while, Angola's got some men behind the ball here to slow down the progress.
Yes, they lost the momentum.
Yeah.
Mozambique. Trying to pick up who it is that didn't feel confident to actually push forward. But there was an opportunity for him. There was space in front of him.
Now, appeals for a possible handball. The referee had a lovely view. It was right next to the action then, so he wasn't moved. Play continues here. Ball in.
So much better from Mozambique now.
Yeah.
Finally got in a hold of the ball and they can play a little bit of passing, combination passes, but they're still finding it hard to crack that yellow, the sea in front of them.
Nelson.
Once again, as you can see, they're finding it hard to penetrate going forward. Every time they hit that wall there to play the ball back.
Good touch. Leading to the foul then. Nelson is the guilty party. Well, he can only go sideways and not backwards for so long before pressure is applied and the ball is lost. Now, final warning here. If there are language issues, then I'm sure the body language is said enough. Your thoughts on the handball?
First of all, was it away from the body? Yes. But was it inside or outside? It was on the line, which makes that inside. The line itself is considered the inside of the area. So it's just a question of conviction from the ref whether it's so daylight out of it.
Just under 10 minutes remaining in this first half, and well, it's once again the goal from Benafra that's the separating factor between these two nations. Angola quickly out of their box, but Mozambique have gotten stronger, it need be said, have gotten better as well. Whilst the confidence is grown, they'll hope to start to create some real openings and chances for themselves. That's the one thing that's lacking from their game. They've got the set piece out to that far side. Foul committed by Aderito. Playing in the heart of defense is Aderito. Put over to that far side and crashes into his man.
Isak.
Aderito, man who plays club football for FC Bravos out in Angola. Five to aim for here as the ball is played in towards the near post. mixture. First touch here, good movement off the ball, but Nelson just straight into an offside position.
Listen, the discipline in that line is incredible in how they held the line and didn't follow the runner with the ball. It's a rare act to see them in unit. Look at that. Wow, wow. And he had to make sure though that he's aligned from the other defenders in the central part of that box.
That's nicely done. Beautifully done then by Anado. As the Mozambicans look to push on here. In space on the far side. Defenders work extremely hard to get there first and concede the throw in. Once again, that's defense stands tall, dealing with the aerial bits, the aerial attacks. Shots from outside of the box haven't caused any problems as yet. They won't mind those shots coming in from that distance.
Tells the story. There is a yellow wall just sitting there, but it's not like it's a low block. No, not in any way. But they just react to the situation that is developing in front of them, which is exciting that just about every development and movement they react to it in unison. That's the group tactics I'm talking about.
Yep. Now, space here, plenty of it to turn and all these options in the runners. He's created the yard for the shots, but just couldn't get it to dip in time. Better from Mozambique. They are getting closer and closer. Still yet to really ask questions then of the man between the sticks for the Angolans. Isak, the man with the last opportunity. That looks a foul challenge from behind, no doubt. And this three. Beginning to wonder here if the Mozambicans have gotten the upper hand just in the flow of the game here over the last 5 to 10 minutes. Spending more time in the opposition half of the field. They are beginning to, yes, get a few more shots off on targets. Although they haven't quite hit the mark as yet, they are trying to hit the target. Five minutes remaining in the half. Or rather Danilo. That was with the hopeful ball forward. Nothing coming off it. Solid challenge in the middle of the park to win it back then. So they have lost the rhythm somewhat here of the Angolans. They're now struggling to hold on to the ball here, whilst this Mozambique that are doing a good job, an impressive job of moving it about. Remember the highlight for the Angolans, of course, being as far as the Cup of Nations goes, in that generation that we spoke of, that saw them get to the quarterfinals in 08 and 2010 of the Cup of Nations. with just under 3 minutes remaining here. It's Angola with the set piece and hoping to create another chance here. That's nicely taken here. Isaac waiting for support, is a little isolated, had a lot to do. And well, did a stunning job of eventually winning the set piece. That's great play from the striker, considering how isolated he was initially. Nicely done here on this near side. Mozambique rotating the ball quite impressively and using the width of the field to try and stretch the opponents here. All that's missing from their game thus far is that final ball here. Look running towards this near side. Mixture won't be able to get onto the end of it. He quickly wants to take the throw in, does Mixture. The right back is pushed forward. There will be a minute added on to the end of the first half, we're told.
Just a reminder that tomorrow will be back again here.
Pushed forward and was a foul. As he was battling with Isaac, trying to apply pressure on the keeper, went on to put the foul on him. Plays the football for Williams Benguela. There's Sisani, the goalkeeper for the Angolans. Well, he's not only okay, but he's good enough to take the set piece. That will follow here, Sisani. We'll look at distance, surely. One thing the Angolans will want to do is take the lead into the halftime break. Now, onto the far side, Hussey. Good movement off the ball here. Now there's to be a chance. He's touch, but he gets enough power to cause any problems. Either trying to find the teammate across the face of goal or get the better of the goalkeeper, Victor. 1 minute added on to the end of this first half. Foul for the challenge on Mixture. Applying pressure on Kaneta. It's return the favour here as the Mixture pushing forward. So often in the early stages of the half we saw Kaneta running at him and taking him on. Picked up a yellow card for his trouble, the Kaneta. So, this could be the very last attack of this first half, and it's Mozambique looking to find the equalizer. Can they come up with something special here just before the halftime break? That is the good question. All starts with a good ball. That number's pushed forward, 6 of them. Nelson it is, with the ball towards that far post, and there was a foul in there, so the referee will bring it all back, and a set piece it will be to the Angolans. They'll take their time about things, and one gets the feeling it's the a last touch of the first half, and yep, it is, as the Mozambicans, well, struggle at finding an equalizer, and it's Angola that will take the lead into the half-time break, with Benafra having scored inside the opening 3 minutes. Has to be said though, Mozambique did get stronger as the half wore on, and maybe the better team over the last 10 minutes. They'll want to pick up from where they left off at the start of the second half in their efforts to turn things around. Group C action will be concluded in the next 45 minutes in as far as the first round of matches, but at the end of this first half, it's Angola leading Mozambique by a goal to nil. Well, it's Angola that lead Mozambique with a 1-0 scoreline in this Group C encounter. 45 minutes gone by here. We look forward to the second 45 shortly. But for now, let's look back at that first half, which started off like a house on fire for the Angolans. Well, it all starts with this particular attack here. Lovely ball, good movements by Caneta. The cutback, perfect for Benafra, who in 3 minutes finds the back of the net, and it's Angola that are off to the perfect start. Nicely done here on this near side. Mabale with the movement to feed off of them from Keneta, whose cutback was spot on for Benafra. Smooth as you like from the Angolans. Now, there were chances and moments for Mozambique, none better than that one. From the corner, Marky nowhere to speak of, and there's a real chance here. Just didn't get a true enough connection. In the end, chance goes a begging. So let's look back at the stats from the first half then. Mozambique will look to improve as far as shots on target. They did have just the one to speak of. Angola themselves had just the one, whilst Mozambique had much more of the ball towards the end in their efforts to try and find the equalizing goal. So let's go down to William Shongwe. He's got one of those surprise interviews we've enjoyed during the halftime breaks of this tournament.
Dr. Tulane Ngwenya, the medical officer of COSAFA, SAFA, and CAF, is here with me. Doctor, on the 4th of July, there was a workshop that was conducted here in Durban. Please, an emergency workshop, it is called. Tell me, what is it all about?
Thank you very much, Mr. Shongwe. The emergency medical workshop was about imparting knowledge to the medicos of the participating teams and also the local football teams like the HOLLYWOODBETS team medicos, so league team medicos, and the PSL and NFD. So basically it was about sharing information and approach in terms of managing medical emergencies. We have actually seen quite a number of Africans suffering from cardiac arrest where there's collapse in the field, and then medicals did not know really how to approach and manage it. So this was actually sharing new trends and approaches in terms of managing medical emergencies. Some of the conditions that we discussed was concussion. We've seen quite a number of concussion in South Africa, in Africa, and in the world. And the biggest problem is that football most of the time does not really know how to approach in terms of managing it. Not because medicals do not know it, but it is because it hasn't been something that we see quite a lot as compared to rugby. So now we're sharing that information and equipping our medicals such that when that happens, even during this tournament, then they are able to deal with medical emergencies.
Thank you so much. Just maybe like one more question, should I say? And beside cardiac arrest and concussion, what are some of the things that maybe we can look at for that can be addressed by the people that attended the workshop?
So it's actually even basic management of injuries, because in football is a contact sport. So then you have quite a number of injuries that can happen in any part of the body. So we're helping also them to actually be able to deal with that. And some of the benefits of this workshop is that this workshop, it is also a legacy project from COSAFA, such that then we know that the people that we have trained, they can go back home and be able to help and assist their teams, because most of the time the biggest challenge was that our medical people are either not trained as sports physicians, because sports medicine is something that is pretty new for Africans, so now we are actually helping them to prepare them for such emergencies. But with that, with having done this is now the beginning of a new dawn for COSAFA, because we're now going to be doing it in each and every tournament.
Now, tell me, the opportunity for the people that attended, would somebody like William Shongwe would have been invited, or who else specifically were invited to be a part of the workshop?
So we invited team doctors, team physios, masseurs, biokineticists, everyone that is actually involved in managing the team from the medical department. Because now we know that, for instance, sometimes some teams do not have doctors, sometimes some teams do not have physios. But if you have a masseur should be able to manage a cardiac arrest at a training field. should be able to do CPR at least. That will be able to buy time for us to actually get the emergency services that will come with an AED to be able to save a life.
Now, one more question for me. I'm thinking to myself, that must have been fantastic for those that involved, but are these conditions going to be enforced to all the sporting codes to be able to have them?
It is FIFA and has actually said now each and every team would need to have a sports physician to manage the team and to help the team. Because now when you don't have sports physician managing the team, unfortunately you would have some teams will have a GP. A GP is a general practitioner, but they are not specialized in sports medicine. So they wouldn't really know in terms of what to do when it comes to management of sporting injuries. That is why it's in previous times we had GPs giving players banned substances, and the banned substance and players then were then unfortunately they had to be punished, and they were banned for 4 years and not playing in football anymore.
Doggies, thank you so much for enlightening us with your department, and I'm sure going forward we'll have a healthier sports people saving us the game.
We are hoping so. Thank you.
Well, a very informative interview once again from William Shongwe then, and a lot learned about the medical department and a way forward, not just for African football, but for football at large. So we look forward to the second half of what should be an interesting ending to the first round of matches in Group C. So we've had 45 minutes of action between Mozambique and Angola in this Group C encounter of the 2023 COSAFA Cup. It's a second half that will begin shortly with both these nations keeping in mind that Lesotho were in action earlier on and did walk away with that 2-0 win that sees them quite possibly sitting on top of the group if things stay this way. So they'll be mindful of that as they look to end the day top of the group, the nations of Mozambique and Angola, and because of that does make things all the more interesting. There's still so much more football to be played, not just today, but throughout this or the group stages, all the way to the knockouts and into the semi-finals and finals. Well, in the yellow, Hussey would have been happy with his Angolan side and how they started the match, scoring inside the opening 3 minutes, but, well, looking to claw their way back into this game, a Mozambican side that make a change now, and to bring on Pundit onto the field. Once that's done, Gonçalves will come on here for Alfonso. And it is Angola to get this second half underway. They will attack the right of your picture, while Mozambique will attack the left. A couple of changes made here. As well, for Mozambique especially, they will be happy the way they ended the first half. Whilst they were chasing the game, the momentum seems to have swung over slightly to their side. They actually had more of the ball by the end of the first half. We were asking questions of the Angolan defense. Angola seemed to have lost their way a bit in the way they were controlling the game in the early part of the first half, and that would have given Mozambique, I do believe, some encouragement going into the half-time break of looking to carry on from where they left off in an effort to change things. William Shaw Westling alongside me here in commentary. Interesting game this. Let's see, can get infield in.
The beauty of efficiency, Cesar Bena. As much as Angola dominated that first part of the first half, but it's not like they had open goal scoring chances all the way. But the one that availed itself was taken beautifully. That for me is the difference between this game. Unlike Mozambique, yes, they did come with build-ups of their own that were beginning to improve towards the end, but they still didn't have those open chances.
Well, Range didn't have to keep slightly concerned as he threw himself towards his right. Happy to see it go wide of the mark, and it's the man who's just come on, Pundit, who nearly came on to perfect effect then, providing the equalizer if it was to be. Now, as a side that had lost their rhythm somewhat here, Angola, one could argue, towards the end of the first half. Very interested in seeing how they go about rediscovering that. And in the early exchanges, it looks as though it's Mozambique that are carrying on from where they left off.
It's the impact of a break. Just that little bit recovery can help you get back to means where you can play more constructive football or eventually create the right kind of chances to continue with your vein of form. Maybe, which obviously fall in the category of conditioning.
Possession lost with the way it would pass out on the far side, just as Mozambique again were beginning to hold on to it quite impressively, using the width of the field and also keeping it away from the opponents, keeping them chasing. Just that, the ability, of course, now to also win the ball back quickly, which is something that's constantly growing in this game. There they are, they've wasted little time in moving it back. No rhythm whatsoever from the Angolans since the start of this second half. Now, the strong points from an Angolan point of view, first half, the wing play.
Yes.
It came into good effect when they were doing well. The wings were doing an exceptionally good job, whether it was Moseka on the right side or Caneta on the left side. They were having plenty of joy. We've seen less and less of them as the game has gone on.
Which, of course, is the point I'm trying to make. Is there a question because Mozambique has closed the spaces to get the ball to those wide areas for Angola? Or is it a question of just those two losing a bit of energy and slowing down eventually? That will be revealed in due time.
But it was just come on. Will take the corner. Outswing it was the near post, and he's found the teammate, and Isak couldn't direct it towards goal.
The one thing also this season, Bena, you got to understand that you can't play at 120 kilometers an hour just throughout the 90 minutes. There's got to be moments of the game where the defense is able to do their part in keeping a little bit of the ball so that the midfielder and the attacking players can rest a bit.
Yeah.
And so that when the ball is played forward, then they are ready to attack it and play aggressively. So that's the other thing that coaches will have to learn, that you've got to find ways to rest the team, one or the other, during the game.
Patrick showing too much. Still, the men in yellow able to keep it moving, and that's an important challenge. The intention was to get it behind the defense. Now, early ball coming in then from Moseka. Helped us defensively.
Yeah, I failed to get the ball across. That's what he was looking for. That's why he's apologizing, Moseka.
Space to exploit out on that far side. Good movement off the ball then. A bit of strength as well from Isak. That's what they're doing well. The Mozambicans rotating the ball from the forward areas all the way back to the defenders and through the midfield. Looking to be more direct. Angola. Now, this Caneta does have pace. And, well, in the end, the shot. Back power, it wasn't directed well enough. In fact, it looked as though he ran out of gas the further forward he got.
Which could be true. I mean, there's a run that he made in the first half, which I feared will run into the same situation where he'll run out of gas, but he didn't. So,
oh, that's a good cross. Flag up offside, however. That's more like it though for the Mozambicans. Two men attacking the golden. Keeper did well under the circumstances, but the flag was up.
Difficult ball to deal with because it's low, it's dropping wall, and you're not sure if it'll get a touch or ricochets from somebody. Even your own defenders can score it against you. It's played just in between the defenders and the goalkeeper.
Oh, it's beautifully done by the keeper. There's no doubt Isak gets straight into the offside position. So good call. Along with the 3 gold medals in the COSAFA Cup, they do have a silver and a bronze to the Angolans. That's in the COSAFA Cup. Mentioned they do have just a 1 World Cup appearance in 2006. They only got as far as the group stage. 8 appearances in the Cup of Nations. The best showings, of course, in 08 and 2010, that 12-year generation in the Cup of Nations, where they got to the quarterfinals.
Am I right in saying the only other team in the southern region that qualified for the World Cup besides Ghana?
Yes. Remember, they qualified in 2006 with a few surprises. I think Ghana was also first time qualifier for a World Cup, which was a surprise. Then that Ghana was only qualifying for the first time, but yeah, that 06 group or class, if you will, from an African point of view, had a few surprises that included Togo.
Yes,
Adebayo in that group as well.
What are you going to do with all this information?
This keeps falling on my head at the right time, I guess. Now, keep the line here on this near side.
Strength, this is Pena.
Lots of it. And there's a last attempt. They dropped so far back. The Angolans that on the halfway line here, there's time, there's space for the 3 defenders that are standing on the inside of the Angolan half. So, by the goalkeeper, everybody was just a moment ago on the inside of the Mozambican half. Everybody else.
Makes a lot of sense for me. If you've got them in that corner. You want to close it so that they don't come out. And if you win it in that area, you have a chance to spring a goal opportunity.
Well, good defensive testers. They seem to be running the risk of being opened up for just a moment, the Angolans, but that was lovely work defensively. Again, more frustration for Kaneta as he's lost out here. This one there was coming off the bench to very good effect since the start of the second half. Kaneta lost it again.
Point once again. Is it just that Mozambique has gotten better, or is it the layers growing heavy for Kaneta and his partner on the other side in Moseka?
Now, space on the far side, just the one target in the box, the second and the third arriving. They arrived soon, I do suspect the ball would have arrived soon inside that box. To this point, we still wait. Funny how adjustments are made during a game that when you're watching it live, if you are paying attention, you can enjoy it. Everything that was so right about the Angolan game now has been nullified. Inside the opening 30 minutes where they were such a threat. Such a threat. They looked good for another goal for a good 20 minutes, but it's all been nullified now. And they've got their backs against the wall.
That's the beauty of this game. That you're a coach, you can work it up and make some changes tactically or positionally to sort out the problem. It's a game that you keep learning as it progresses. You see certain things, you analyze, and you make the change, or you shift this one. It's like chess.
Yeah. In the background.
He's here.
I think our friend is here in the background and with the fans doing his bit to keep them entertained. For those of you that may be wondering what we're talking about, there is one fan in particular comes out to the Queen of Amazulu, is it?
Yes.
And well, it goes through his warm-up sessions and they show the appreciation of his efforts with the C's you hear.
I can tell you there's a story about him, is that he did this thing in the past and eventually got himself a job at the Amazulu office.
Oh!
Yes. He's fully employed now by the office. I'm not sure exactly what the details of his employment, but through his given ability to come entertain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice
Got
touch.
notice, yeah?
I'll tell you one man who's probably thinking the idea was stolen and he didn't have as much luck. It's Quali down in Nelspruit. Remember, he was the kind of cheese fan who
Yeah.
in Nelspruit. He's like, he got a job. So we approach the hour. Mozambique themselves have had a couple of appearances at a couple of nations. First in 2014, quarterfinalists in 2022.
They were here in 1986 as well. 96, 96,
yeah.
yes.
86.
It was a big year for me. That's the year that I made it to South Africa.
But 86.
Yes.
So that nation saw that we had 86 earlier, in 96, in 98, and in 2010. It's the Chan with the 2014 and 2022, I beg your pardon. The first appearance in a couple of nations was in 86. I'll tell you how old I was then.
I'm not even going to go there. Yeah, Angola has got to try and wrestle this game away from Mozambique. Changes, of course, is one way that they can do it. In fact, you can see that something is wrong with the conditioning. I mean, they started on a very fast pace. Like I said, sometimes it's difficult to maintain that kind of pace.
So a couple of changes will be made then by the Angolans. Zerato is coming on here wearing the number 11 jersey. And the change up front with Jeremiah is coming on. So just on here to take the set piece is Zerato. Big men push forwards. Well, yeah, he's still catching up to the pace of the game, we'll say, jokingly. Now, running on the far side, and in fact the challenge looked late, it was late. Claiming he got the ball, but I can assure you he was nowhere near it. The attacker got there first. I think he's just trying to talk himself out of a possible card here. There's Mabale. He was in trouble.
The left full back.
He was in all sorts of trouble then. Nelson had beaten him to the punch. Well, want to avoid the card. Yellow card it will be for Mobile. Plays his club football for De Agosto. We've seen 3 yellow cards in this match. Neta and Ali are the other players that have seen yellow. Oh, then it's a good ball. Oh, it's a lovely chance. Flags up. And, well, offside, I believe, is the call, but what a chance that would have been.
Yeah, looking at the way the flag was raised, he must have spotted something from the first side, the third official or assistant.
Well, it's this man again, Isak. Remember earlier there was another set piece played in similar fashion. I think it was in the first half, and they're straight offside. Off again once more here. He needs to watch himself. It was the potential of yet another good attack in his face again. No, starts off his movement from an offside position. So, still that goal that came in the 3rd minute that separates these two sides, Shonga. Credit to the Mozambiques, they haven't really given up on the fight. No chances being taken then. Mabale going with safety first. Another change will be made here. They're coming in thick and fast now, the changes. All the while, the Lesotho's watching on, thinking if it stays this way, they in the day top of the group. If it stays this way.
And his place comes in jersey number 9,
So Mozambique will bring on the big number 9. Melke.
Now, is coach looking to maybe play with 2 strikers? Because Isak is already surrounded by 2-3 players.
Isak beaten to it in the air. They look to try and pick out Isak, but he's surrounded by men in yellow. To have numbers back defensively here to give effect to the Angolas for the time being. Little drop on the shoulder, keeps it moving now. Byline and the cutback dealt with by good defending then. Necessary defending from Nkua, or Enoch, I should say. Way too much on that occasion then. Did Moseka? Hardly seen him or mentioned him here in this second half. The man wearing the number 10 jersey.
Regardless of whichever way it goes, I'm talking the result now. But these players in Moseka and his counterpart on the left side, yes, it's that learning curve for them. They'll be a total different player altogether going forward because of this experience. I mean, they'll understand that maybe you can't be explosive every time you get the ball. Play.
Pace yourself.
Yes, pace yourself. Yes.
Choose your moment.
You can imagine now how they're feeling. It's like they don't look like the same player at all.
No. Of course, if you are just joining us and wondering what you're thinking about the wingers for the Angolan side, Kaneta and Moseka, opening 30 minutes, they were all over the place, running right and causing problems. As that half went on, they started to quieten down quite a bit, and going into the second half, they just haven't looked themselves at all.
Instead, it is the experience of the Mambas that seems to be growing.
Yeah.
Like I said, these players, some of them have featured so prominently for the past 3, even 4 years in this competition. So they'll by now know how to pace themselves throughout the competition. But they need a win, they need to get a goal to stay alive, to qualify into the semi-final stages. Just a quick reminder, of course, is that there is no quarterfinals in this year's tournament.
Change the format.
3 teams that make the 2 groups will proceed into the semi-final.
There's our superhero.
Hey, look at that walk. Look at that walk.
Pull in. Ooh, there's no pouncing there that could have caused discomfort over the defensive side. Again, with the noise levels on this near side, you can tell there's a good crowd out there. Moving around quite nicely now are the Angolans. Pulled in. That's better from the Angolans. It's been a while since we've seen them ask questions, some just serious questions of the Mozambique defense. Picking up at the back then for the Mozambique was next year. 2 years down the line.
And of course, I'm sure Angola at a stage now where they think they can grind this thing and just sit out as it is. I mean, obviously, I think because of the technical ability, the team that can hold into the ball, they've got skillful players, but they need to start doing that because they can't keep giving away ball position.
Well, here's a chance to whip one in, and the keeper's done well. He has a follow-up header straight back at the keeper from Direito. Frustrated with himself. A chance for Angola to extend their lead, goes to begging. A reminder for Mozambique. There's still work to be done on both ends of the field here if they are to get any joy whatsoever.
one hand punch away from Victor. Excellent again.
Gordon's stopped in from Meksha. Mind, they are twice silver medalists, twice bronze medalists of the Mozambicans when it comes to the COSAFA Cup. Hey, come so close. The ball is 110 in and well defended on the near post. So I'm so close to being crowned champions that they'll, every time they step out, we'll hope this is the year. And we'll send this group through down to Durban here, hoping this is their year. Now, they can stay down here on this near side. It's a one-on-one situation. Done well, but gone to ground way too easy, has he? No, set piece it is. Now, question is, how does the referee view this? Yellow card.
Let me tell you, if anything, he was very convincing in the way that he go down. Whether there was, I'm not sure myself. I didn't quite see much, but we'll have the privilege of slow-mo, of course, to pick it up. But didn't look like Mutambe even made contact with him. Now let's see this.
None.
Donkey.
None.
That's what I thought.
None. That's what I thought initially as well. He went down like he was shot.
Very convincing. Listen, I was talking to Felix, who's heading the referees instructor team, and it's one of those that will be reviewed. It will depend on just how far was the ref was when the action happened. Could he have picked it up? He's normally, would I say, one of the best for me in the DSTV Premiership.
Now, from the tip. Oh! Right of the mark. Keep our lobby here and covered. Now, had a chance to have Felix take me on a tour of the referees' course and what they go through, along with Mr. Ibrahim from South Africa in Eswatini last year. And just a 10-minute tour, the videos of where the referees should be when the ball is in a certain area. Yep. It's a lot to take in, a lot to remember. You know, for referees, as in when the ball is out wide on that side, where it is to be to have the best view of that situation. And let's say a corner, a ball in the final third towards the left or the right. They have a lot you have to remember and go through.
Forget the remembering. It's keeping up with the action.
Exactly. So like you say, the first incident, or with any incident that happens, the first question is, where were you?
Yeah. Were you close proximity?
Where
that is often used.
Angle?
Yeah. And then the angle follows up. We have the privilege of, obviously, of working with Mhlegazi.
Yep. Yeah, breaks it down.
Mr. Ngobo, who is always dissecting this type of moments.
Kabasab will be coming up here for the Mozambicans. Shaquille operating in midfield will be making way. Antonio will come on in his place. Dayo Antonio. That's done and avoiding two. Well, suddenly sprung to life. There's that Moseka for the first time here in the second half. Still got it.
It's been resting.
Yeah.
So,
changes spoke of will be made. Yeah. As we drift into the latter stages of this game. Again, as it stands, Lesotho will be smiling. Making way as well by the look of it is Isaac. Just a moment. And Melo that'll come on in his place. And I spoke of this change being made a little bit earlier, where Antonio is coming on here for Shaquille. Far side official is Tembo Pondamali from Malawi. And for those of you joining us late, the near side official is Zamani Smelani. The referee, Masitole Bambis. Strong work defensively. Needed to be strong then under pressure. Seem to have upped the ante just a bit. But the Angolans, yes, they're not at their flying best just yet, but they seem to be moving quicker now and closing down and just trying to wrestle the momentum away from the Mozambicans.
In short.
Yeah.
That's what I would call grinding it.
Yeah. Up the energy levels just a bit. Now, pull in. Oh, this looks a good chance initially, but in the end, couldn't guide the touch to settle the ball, and it ends in frustration. And the flagging up.
That's all that went missing. Being able to bring that ball under control quicker so that he can take a shot. That first touch lets him down. The ball went up, and by the time he had his second touch, the defenders were on him.
Melo, amongst those that's coming off the bench here, looking to get involved here and be a bit of a busybody in making things happen. And the wayward pass. Very interested in watching Moseka, number 10, play, where he's not running at pace and not running at defenders. See if he's connecting with his passes, his decision making and such. And like you're saying, still very much a developing young player to this level. We know what his strengths are. He needs much more than just pace at this level of the game. Journey in the middle of the park, options mostly to that right side. That's done. Trying to step onside. Only problem is the defender did a good job at watching all the movements and dealing with it. The frustration now beginning to see through from the Mozambicans.
Time is moving.
Keep in mind, Lesotho beat Mauritius earlier on in the day. 2-0 was the scoreline. Same group as this. As things stand, it's Lesotho that will end the day, top of the group. Good hard running here on this near side. It's Mekshak and into the byline as he overdone it.
Decision making. When do you decide to ping that ball across the face of the want to run all the way to the goal line?
Yeah.
Or can I still kill it when I'm a little further,
yeah,
whilst I still had a chance?
That was a really nice run then from Danilo Muze. Amongst those that started the game on the bench. That's already on the near side. Now, can they find a way behind the defense? The answer is no. Thanks to a good bit of play then. Possibly the defender will push forward here for the Angolans. He's going to be making his way back now. Weighing the number 2 on his back here on this near side. Now, reason why the ball put out of play, there's a man down on the far side in Angolan colors. Not too sure what's happened to him, but it's mighty kind of a Mozambican side that is chasing the game to have put the ball out of play.
Sportsmanship.
Yeah. There are those that are of the impression if it's not a head injury, carry on playing. If the referee doesn't call it, carry on playing. And I fully understand those that see it that way from a fair play point of view as well. Let's see if we can pick up what actually happened here. Got to the ball. So, let's get to see what he really does for those that haven't seen Dlamini in action here.
Caught him on the wrong time. He's taking a break. But
they thought about putting him on the stretcher, then thought twice of it, so he's offered for the time being.
Stake, ball given away, Chipley.
Just towards that far side. Wow.
That's another sign.
Yeah.
Of some very tired legs.
And here's the thing, Director's coming as a substitute here in the second half, so decision making way off the mark. What time factor against the Mozambicans here. To just joining us, they are in the black and red, chasing this game. Nice work. Now can he find the right pass here to set up a chance at goal? Ball very narrow and nicely done defensively then by Hossy to deny the Mozambicans a chance to work it right to this near side. They're in a hurry now. Chance to have a strike! Keeper! Oh, he's made a mess of it! An absolute mess! And gifted Mozambique the equalizer. It looks straight at him. He left his footing to, I think, make the save look better than it was, and in the end, he's trying to save the situation. He's presented it to the opposition for the easiest of finishes.
I can imagine the level of excitement from the coach, because I couldn't quite see where the goal was going to come from. I mean, they've made so many attempts and yet they weren't opening up. But the space given to him as he cuts into the inside, he just needed to pile that ball over for a corner, and then he can reorganize it thereafter. Take nothing from the power, which is why he couldn't hold on to it.
Well, the goal scorer doing the right thing in that sort of area. That's following up with the striker, Tayo Antonio, with the equalizer. Time enough to look for a winner. We've got the momentum, we've got the opening, ball across. Well, his own hands on deck now defensively for the Angolans. Tell you, one man that's making a difference here. Melo in the number 7 jersey for the Mozambicans. See that that's the initial shots that had the power the keeper couldn't deal with. Here it is again. Melo. Now, Mozambique, it's when he's not in the water here, looking to push on and find the winner. Down on the far side as Bonde keeps alive, ball in, and well, the man who couldn't quite take it in stride then was Antonio.
Bond is operating on this left-hand side since he came in. He's really been pushing forward with every chance that he gets. He carries the ball, he takes players on, and I think he contributed immensely for the creation. There he is as he picked it up. He's right-footed, but it allows him to either stray wider or cut into the inside.
Well, ball in there, keepers judge the flight well. Well, as a keeper, when you make a mistake, it really does stick out and you stand out. And the sort of error that he made, and there'll be debate as to whether he should have palmed it over, whether he could have, in fact, held on to it.
He tried to hold on to it. The ball came out of his hands. The thing is, small margins, as we call it, where the decision maker, you need to be able to be strong in that decision that you make. Am I going to hold it? But you've got to decide as well that the one is too strong for me. I can't hold it. Let's just make it easy. Pile it over. Then I can reorganize my defense. And I think for me, that was his mistake. That was well hit. There's raw power behind it.
Well, so in ending up here, let's take the first quickly on what's been well, a rather interesting game here. With the early goal from Angola, the late equalizer from the Mozambicans by the look of it.
Now, that's where you see the difference in the condition. Mozambique, whether it's the experience, and the experience of understanding the competition by being able to pace them. There is Bonde again as he picks it up. Wow, it's a straight shot. That's what maybe will make you feel real sad about him not being able to hold on to it. But boy, oh boy, was it hard.
I'm not even sure he has to leave his footing to get his hands into that, you know what I mean? Doesn't have to jump. There's your goal scorer, Antonio. Now, pushing forward and hoping to find that late winner are the Mozambicans. That's nicely done here on this near side. Good hard running. The ball in, bad at all. Keeper doesn't hold on, and well, in the end, he bundles onto it in what the real battle between the attacker and the keeper did. There'll be 2 minutes added on to the 90. But still, you time enough for a winner in this match. That's exactly what the Mozambicans are hoping for here as they pick it up in the middle of the park. Through Amado. Can't find a teammate with his pass, so back to getting onto defense, but then it's now the Angolans that look to push forward. And the Create Games is coming on as a substitute in the second half. The man made the number 8 in his back. Bonded. Now, the ball and, well, it wasn't a bad ball, and this could be a chance for a winner here. Cut back! Oh, what a save! And in the end, they won't get another opportunity. Should have been a winner for Angola then late in the match. But what a save from Victor. Now it's opening up so that the Mozambicans to push forward. Bonde. Amado. Oh, lucky with the line, I thought initially, but he's been called for the offensive foul then. And on to the end of the 90, we already had the minutes come and go here. As the clock winds down, yep, it's a change that will be made. And the Angolans that will make that change. Queen makes way. Antonio Lopez is the man that will come on in his place. Seconds remaining on the clock now. Maybe time for one more attack. Because those was a late challenge. The referees allow play to continue. Ball across. Still could be a chance for a late winner here. Set up for the shot! Oh, he hit that ball, but couldn't keep it down. Then did Amado. There you have it. That was the last attack of the game here. And Group C will see the first half of matches end with Lesotho topping the group just after Mozambique and Angola played to a 1-1 scoreline. And up the first score for Angola after the 3 minutes. Then Mozambique started the long road in their fight back, and they huffed and puffed through the first half and through most of the second to score the equalizer late in the second half through Antonio, one of their substitutes. And well, in the end, both these sides will have had to work extremely hard for the points they will take out of this match and their positions behind Lesotho in the group. Another entertaining game, another entertaining day in Durban, with the scoreline here reading Mozambique 1, Angola 1. So, going back to where it all started then. And Mabale with the ball on to Caneta. His cutback good enough for Benafa. Perfect start for Angola. 3 minutes it took to dismantle the opposition defense. And at that point, they were flying. Good decision making, good movements, all combining extremely well to create the opener. And, well, they fought back, did the Angolans, and they'll feel, or Mozambicans I should say, they should have made better use of some of the chances they had. That one falling for Isak, who was eventually substituted, but he had a good few moments where he could have made the most of the situation. Lucky in power that header. And then this moment where some of the best goalkeeping we've seen from Victor came to the fore, keeping the Mozambicans in the game here after another threatening attack involving Mabale, the left back. Well, it didn't end there. They kept on pushing forward and got rewarded for it. Keeper can't hold on. He palms it into the path of Antonio. Says thank you very much as they taps it forward. But the initial shot came in with a lot of power from Gonçalves, and the keeper will wish Tasani had done much better in dealing with the initial shots. Got himself in all sorts of trouble then. So late in the day, looking for a winner. And what a save once again. Top-notch stuff from Victor. That's the difference between a draw and a loss. This particular save, they looked as though they'd opened up the opponents then, but for that save from Victor. And it ends with both these sides sharing the spoils, 1-1 the scoreline. So, Angola will look at the numbers and feel, well, they had the most in shots on target, maybe should have done more with that, including the fact that they had so much ball possession. But Mozambique will be happy with the fact that they were able to come back from behind to, well, level the score lines. Let's go down to William Chong and find out who the man of the match was, including listening to the two coaches.
Miss Indira Albakeke, Senior Soccer Sponsorship Coordinator from HOLLYWOODBETS, is here to do the presentation of the man of the match. And it's Mindinho from Angola. Let's see if we can get the translator here to be able to do the business for us. A difficult game it must be, but congratulations. I think you were very key in keeping the scoreline at what it eventually was.
Foi jogo difícil, mas yes, foi jogo difícil, não é? E enfim, vocês acabaram sentindo impacto. O que é que tu ofereces a dizer?
O jogo estava bom de princípio até a segunda parte. Estávamos a vencer a primeira até no último minuto da segunda parte e acabamos por empatar. Mas não vamos baixar a cabeça, porque nós somos uma nação, somos unidos e ainda tem mais um jogo e vamos vir mais forte.
Okay. Unfortunately, we have a good start, but in the second minute, in the second half, we lose control and we concede this draw. But by the way, we still continue to work. We will not give up because we are one. We will represent Angola here, and we will fight until the end.
Thank you very much, Mindinho. And well done, and going forward, who knows where it might end up.
Okay.
Point massive.
Okay, bem merecido. Parabéns. Yeah.
Muito obrigado.
Coach Amaral is here with me, of course. Coach, I want you to tell the viewers sitting at home, it's a game that you're in total control of. Where did it go wrong for you?
O que terá falhado, Mister?
Eu penso-
Tiveste o jogo controlado, conseguiste vencer até a segunda parte?
Eu penso que sim, penso que controlamos o jogo, mas eu gosto de dar sempre mérito aos meus adversários. O Moçambique foi lá, conseguiu fazer, tivemos N oportunidades para realizar e não realizamos. Não podemos abaixar a cabeça, já terminou esse jogo, estamos a pensar já nas Ilhas Maurício na segunda-feira. Portanto, os meninos estão de parabéns por aquilo que fizeram. Nós sempre acreditamos e ainda achamos que estamos no início de uma era, jogadores com pouca experiência desse tipo de competição. Portanto, temos que parabenizar o esforço que eles fizeram. Correram do primeiro ao último minuto. Moçambique tem o seu mérito porque fez o gol. Isso é que é mais importante.
Well, Mozambique take a chance and they draw. I say congratulations for Mozambique, but as well I said before, this is a young team, so we try to building a new team. So we will not give up. We will continue to work because we will face Mauritius in the next match. So we're still fighting for next victory.
Coach, thanks so much, and hopefully things will turn out better going forward. Thank you.
Nós é que agradecemos a sua simpatia em particular. Estamos aqui para participar dessa festa, já o disse de início, e vamos continuar a fazer isso. Por um outro momento, alguma coisa que nós lamentamos ou que tenhamos gesticulado, faz parte do futebol, faz parte do espetáculo. Muito obrigado.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach. And obviously coming up is the coach of the Mambas, and he's huffing and puffing. He doesn't believe what eventually happened. Coach, you must be surprised at the same time, very impressed in how your team continued to press on even at a time when it didn't look like it was going to happen.
So we have, how can I say? So create situations to score. The last time, as you said, our team never give up. Never give up. That is our force that we are using. Strong mentality. But so when we start the game, first half, we didn't play as we trained. Was long balls. It's not our model of the game. So we used to keep possession, using the wingers to cross the balls in the box, but we didn't do it. But in second half, after we make some change, we change our system. We played with one in position 6, Amadou, and then we put 2 in front of him, João and Dario, number 7, who entered in second half. So we change, and then we start to keep possession. So Angola give us a lot of problems in transition, defense to attack.
Yes.
For them. For us, it was attack to defense. So we give them a space, 1v1 there. So in the last minute, our goalkeeper was there. For me, congratulations all the boys, because they're fighting very well. So let's think about next match against Lesotho.
And I'm sure, obviously, going forward with the next game, it's going to improve. But well done, Coach.
Thank you. We're going to improve it because we need to stay in the first position. But let me say congratulations to Angola too, because they're fighting very well. It was a good game. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Well done, Coach.
Well, there you have it. Thank you to William Chonga, the coaches and the men of the match. Then as we look back at, a day that had goals and Lesotho sitting on top of the world in as far as Group C is concerned. They, of course, winning 2-0 over Mauritius, with Angola and Mozambique sharing the spoils, a goal apiece, a point apiece. So this is how it looks in the overall picture. Lesotho, at the end of the day, will be sitting right at the top, having amassed 3 points. One more win for them, and they'll plenty their chances going forward. It won't get any easier, however, with the next of Angola, Mozambique, and Mauritius doing their bits going forward to try and derail them. There will be action tomorrow. We'll be right back here with, a game not to miss, and starting it all off then. South Africa up against Botswana as the two neighbors go at it. Then Namibia, Eswatini in the game that will end the day. And, another day to look forward to as, the second round of matches begin way back in Group A. Well, from myself, Caesar Mapena, and the rest of the team, we say good night until tomorrow. We're looking forward to seeing you when the action starts at 3 in the afternoon.